Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 2nd. How's everybody doing? So, I am coming to, hi, Dawn. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm coming to you from the beautiful state of Michigan, where it's 44 degrees and it's raining. But that's okay. It's springtime. Are we all ready for spring? Beautiful, colorful flowers and all the trees blooming and the grass becoming green again. Springtime is a wonderful, colorful time, right? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about spring season and the foods that we eat in the spring season. And I'm going to make some wild violet flower tea. I'm going to show you how to do that. And I have some very interesting information about arthritis and people who suffer with joint pains. Some information that has just come to my attention very recently. And I just wrote my Substack blog about this information, and I want to share it with you. And so thank you for tuning in. I am Chef Valerie Wilson, and my business name is MacroVal. That's my website, macroval.com. I have been teaching cooking classes for 28 years, self-employed. I also cook for people. I'm the author of 7 cookbooks. I teach the cooking classes, and I work with people. I counsel people to overcome dis-ease in the body using food. And so for the last 28 years, I've been blessed to do what I love for a living, which is cook. And so all my food is organic, healthy, whole foods, and I'm also vegan. So there's no animal products in the food that I create. So what's your favorite thing about spring? You know, if you're watching live, you can go ahead and comment and say hello or answer the question about what is your favorite thing about spring. Or if you're watching this as the recording later, you can go ahead and put it in the comments. Let's see, my favorite thing about spring, it's kind of hard because there's so many great things, right? Well, the weather starts to get warmer, so that's a bonus. But also, I get excited when the plants start blooming outside. And one of the first plants that I see in my backyard are the wild violet flowers. They start to bloom. In fact, I'm always surprised, especially when they start blooming this early. And so it is April 2nd. Oh, and Dawn says seeing all the flowers bloom. Yes, absolutely, Dawn. That's just what I'm mentioning now too. Yeah. I have some tulips coming up too, but the flowers aren't here yet. It's just the green leaves. But if you get a chance, go outside and see if you have any wild violet flowers growing in your yard. Now, I'm blessed to live in my house. I've been here for over 15 years, and I've never sprayed my lawn, which is an absolute blessing. So I have like an organic lawn with organic soil. So I know that it's safe to eat a lot of the plants that might, grow in my yard. And maybe that's why the wild violets have come back, because when I moved into my house, they weren't there. They've, and then every year they multiply and I get more and more. But what's interesting about the date, April 2nd, is I actually went back on my YouTube channel and I noticed that I went live last year on April 2nd. So I thought that was interesting. And I made wild violet flower pudding. And at that time, I made the observation that I thought the wild violet flowers were early. Well, guess what? Here it is, April 2nd again, a year later, and I've got wild violet flowers out in my yard right now too. So kind of the same time as last year. Yeah, if you get a chance, go look at my YouTube channel and you can pull up that recipe. You can make wild violet flower pudding, which is very awesome too. And I actually went out Monday and picked some wild violet flowers, which I had a lot of fun doing that. And I'm glad I did, because then I got inspired to do this video today on Wednesday about wild violet flowers. And then today, here in Michigan, it's been raining. In fact, we had thunder this morning. So today would not have been a good day to go out and pick them, but I picked them on Monday, so I have some to show you, right? Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you guys do any wild foraging, if you go out and find anything. Now, I know in my cooking classes, some of my students mentioned that they find wild asparagus growing. Now, I adore asparagus. I've never been able to find wild asparagus. That would be so exciting if I ever did find wild asparagus, and I'm sure it would be absolutely delicious. And I'm really excited for spring because asparagus is one of my all-time favorite vegetables, and it is one of the signature vegetables for springtime, asparagus. So I'm really looking forward to that. And so, yeah, let me tell you about the health benefits of wild violet flowers. This is also the health benefits of the leaves on the violet flower plant, because the flowers come and go relatively quickly because wild violet flowers are very delicate and they're very small. So when you see them, make sure you pick them because they're going to be gone. And then what's left are the leaves, and the leaves will get bigger. So I have done both. I've picked the flowers and used them when I could. I've also picked the leaves and I dry the leaves, and I have dried violet flower leaves available throughout the whole year if I ever wanted to make some violet flower leaf tea. And why would I want to do that? Well, because the wild violet flower plant is so medicinal for you. We've got a lot of healing benefits in this plant. So let me do a screen share, and I am going to pull up this information and we can talk about it. Here it is right here. Okay, wild violet. So this information I have typed up and ready because 2 years ago, I taught some classes. They were healing with foods classes, and I taught about the healing benefits of some plants, and wild violets was included. So here's a beautiful picture of the wild violets. Now look here, we have anti-inflammatory properties. So you really need anti-inflammatory foods. If you have pain in your body, whether it's joint pain, arthritis, muscle pain, aches and pains here or there, that's inflammation in your body. So we really want anti-inflammatory foods. And we find that in the wild violet plant. We have antifungal, okay, for any fungus infection. Some people have, their toe gets infected with a fungal infection. We got wild, you could do like a poultice or of the leaves or something. That would help. Antioxidants, so they help fight off diseases, help boost your immune system. Who doesn't need a boost in your immune system, right? So you're strong and healthy. Helps with clear skin. So again, it's really good for your skin. Helps to irritate tissues. Soothe. I said the wrong thing. Soothe irritated tissues. So that would be skin rashes, right? So wild violet flower, whether taking internally in the form of the tea, I'm going to teach you how to make, or you could make the tea and then you could put it on your skin. It would be good for that. Disinfectant. It's a natural painkiller. So I'm going to talk here in a little bit when I get into my information about arthritis, painkillers and the problem with some painkillers and the side effects. Now, interesting, it has a calming effect on your nerves. And what's interesting is in the springtime, we feed and nurture our nervous system. And this is a plant that becomes available in the springtime. So our ancestors who lived really close to nature, and they would utilize the plants that grew according to the season, guess what? They were helped to calm our nerves, and our nerves are associated with this time of year. And so the wild violet plant has calcium, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin A for your eyes, helps to promote good sleep, can help treat infections, can help with upper respiratory tract and colds and flu, and virus infection, and even treat bronchitis. So that's the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antifungal properties could help with those things that I just listed. All right. Reduce pain and swelling. And again, I already mentioned this, but you could do it for inflamed skin like a poultice. Now, it also can help with high blood pressure if you drink the tea on a regular basis. Helps to purify the blood. That's really important. Relieves cough, may help with you if you have a sore throat, and aids in digestion, and may help reduce fever too. So you can see, like, wow, then this is just a flower that's growing out in the wild. Maybe it's growing in your backyard, and you may look at it and you may pass it by. I always pick these things and utilize them because of the tremendous healing properties of them, right? And let me see here. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Yeah, so those are the healing benefits of the wild violet flowers. So you can see how incredibly wonderful they would be if you were to start incorporating them. And one of my favorite things to do in the springtime is to make the tea, right? So we are going to start with this recipe, and we're going to start with 4 cups of water. So put 4 cups of water in a pot and bring it to a boil is the first thing you want to do. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I picked these flowers on Monday, and it's a good thing I did because it's raining here in Michigan, so I wouldn't be able to pick them today. So you go out in the wild and you find the wild violet flowers and you pick them, and they're small. Okay, they're very, very small. Look how small they are, but they're beautiful. And so the ones in my backyard are white with a little bit of purple on them. Some of them are dark purple in color. Some of them are more white. So we have various different colors that could be happening, right? And so I bring them in the house and then I wash them. I want you guys to, it's kind of hard, like with a close-up, but they're such beautiful little, and they have this wonderful fragrance. It's like a light, delicate fragrance. When I pick them and then I bring them inside and I have them like in the bowl or the bucket that I picked them in, just the smell is so pleasing, right? But I just, I put them in a bowl, swish them around, take them up and strain them. And then what I do is I freeze the wild violet flowers. You can dry them too. Every year I freeze them. And the reason why I freeze them is because if you freeze them, they still look beautiful and purple and perky, right? If you dry them, drying plants usually shrivels them up. They still have the same medicinal properties, but I think they look prettier when I freeze them. And I use them to decorate food, especially because Easter's coming up. So at Easter time, I like to make my own Easter candy. I don't buy store-bought stuff. And in fact, there's another video on my YouTube channel where I made chocolate Easter candy decorated with wild violet flowers. So you can check that video out too. Lemon meringue pie. You know how you make that beautiful meringue? I put like some little violet flowers on there, and it's beautiful, you know, so you can use it to decorate. You can eat wild violet flowers. So you could put them in a salad. Like I said, I use them for decoration purposes because they're so beautiful. They're so pretty. And so I also have some recipes with wild violet flowers. Yes, and the recipes are going to be in my upcoming cooking class next Wednesday. What will be the date next Wednesday? Let's look on the calendar. 9th. April 9th is the next cooking class that I'm going to actually feature wild violet flowers in a couple of the recipes. All right, so I got a pot of water over here, just half a cup of water. It's not much to see, but I'll bring you over to the stove anyway so you can take a look. See, we got half a cup of water. All right, Now, oh, I'm sorry, it's 4 cups of water. We want a half a cup of the wild violet flowers. 4 cups of water, half a cup of wild violet flowers. So I'm just going to put a half a cup in here. Half a cup will give you a nice flavor. If you want it a little stronger, you could do like 3/4 of a cup. If you find that the flavor is a little too strong for you, you could do like 1/3 of a cup. But here we go. Half a cup of wild violet flowers. What you want to do, okay, it's boiling. Turn the heat off. Okay, you want to steep the flowers. You don't want to boil them. So you go like after you turn the heat off and the boiling action stops, but the water is still hot, you put the flowers in there, and then you just let this steep for about 10 minutes. And all that beautiful flower flavor will get into the liquid. Now, if your flowers are purple or a little darker purple, you might have a little bit of a purple hue to the water. Mine are not that dark purple, so mine are like white with a little bit of purple. So it's probably going to be, my water is going to be pretty clear for sure. Yeah. All right, let's move back over here. So I told you about that upcoming cooking class where I'm featuring some recipes featuring wild violet flower. And the whole cooking class is a spring dinner. I call it Easter dinner with, spring flavors, spring foods, because eating according to the seasons, I teach about the 5 transformations of energy where we eat according to the seasons. And so springtime is when we eat foods that feed and nurtures, our liver, our gallbladder, and our nervous system. And remember how I mentioned earlier, wild violet, the plant wild violet, helps to calm your nerves. So you can see where it's associated with the organs in the body that you feed and nurture. Your liver, your gallbladder, and your nervous system. So the signature flavor for springtime is sour. Yes, and what's naturally sour? Lemons. And so a lot of times maybe you've heard for a good liver tonic, people drink water with lemon in it because it's, flush your liver out and everything. Well, that's Oriental medicine, the 5 transformations of energy, naturally sour foods for your liver. All right. So the upcoming cooking class, which is next Wednesday on the 9th, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful salad, which I have decorated with the wild violet flowers. This is tempeh, brown rice, and cucumber salad with a tofu mustard mayonnaise dressing, and it's served over a bed of greens and arugula. This is your main course. This is your complex carbohydrate and your protein. I'm going to teach you how to make that. And then I'm going to teach you how to make, this is such one of my favorite dishes because it's asparagus. It's asparagus, rutabaga, and cabbage with basil. Another one of my all-time favorite seasoning spices is basil. And basil has anti-inflammatory properties also. And basil to me is just reawakens your taste buds, especially the fresh basil. This has fresh basil in it. So it's asparagus, rutabaga, cabbage, and fresh basil. And then we also have a dessert for our Easter dinner cooking class, right? Lemon raspberry muffin. And the muffin has wild violet flowers inside in the dough. Yep. I'm going to cut one open. I'll show you what the middle looks like. Although you really don't, the flowers aren't really predominant. Yeah, I cut it open. You really can't, you're not going to be able to see it in the camera. I can see a couple of them, but it's so hard with the camera and everything. I don't think you're going to see it. But these are lemon raspberry muffins with wild violet flowers in the dough. soft and moist and delicious, and the signature flavor for spring, sour. So that class is one of my long classes from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This class is both in person and virtual. So if you live in the area and I'm in Michigan, you can attend in person here at my house. We make the food together. It's like a social event. It's so much fun. And then we sit down and eat the food. You get a meal. Now, if you don't live in Michigan, but you want to attend this class and you want to get these recipes, you can attend through Zoom. I also have the Zoom hooked up. You can attend virtually. I give you the recipes ahead of time. And if you want to cook with me, you can cook with me. And it's a lot of fun. So go to my website, macrovale.com. You can sign up for that class right now, okay? Let's talk a little bit more about cooking for the spring season. So I mentioned the 5 transformations of energy. This is my big poster. See, it says 5 transformations of energy. I know the light is reflecting on it. I'm so sorry. But so this is, according to Chinese medicine, 5 transformations of energy. So up here at the top, we have fire. That's the fire. That's the summer. This is actually the spring right here. This is the season we're in here right now, which is green. This is summer, late summer, fall, winter. This is where we're moving out of. We're moving out of winter, and we're in the spring season right down here. So if we look down here, we have spring energy, which is tree energy. Your liver, your gallbladder, your nervous system. The signature flavor is sour. The signature whole grains are wheat, barley, and rye. Some of the foods that are associated with this time of year are asparagus, turnip greens, scallions, things that come out of the garden early. And let's see, that's pretty much the information. So greens, you can think of green plants associated with springtime too, because green wheat starts to become available. And all the foods associated with this spring energy, again, feed and nurture your liver, your gallbladder, and help nurture your nervous system. All right. So those are all foods for the spring season. Oops. Oh, I've got to put this poster over here. Hold on a second. Oh. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we're talking spring season. We're making some wild violet tea, wild violet flower tea. Now, if you wanted to make this tea using the leaves of the wild violet plant, you could do that too. It would be the same ratio, 4 cups of water, half a cup of the greens. And again, the greens, when I pick them, I bring them into the kitchen and I wash them, and then I lay them out on racks, and I actually dry the greens. I mentioned that earlier. So I always have the dried greens. And then the wild violet flowers I freeze, and I also make jam with wild violet flowers. I usually use fruit and wild violet, like I have blueberry wild violet jam, strawberry wild violet jam. So I make jams also using the wild violet flower jams. And that's a cooking class that I taught a couple years ago. And guess what? All of my cooking classes are recorded, and any cooking class that you'd be interested in buying the recording of, those are available on my website also. And so I've been teaching classes for 28 years. I have all these recipes and all these cooking classes. So any recipe or any food item that you're looking for that you'd be interested in, chances are I have the recipe somewhere. And speaking of recipes, I also have a recipe of the month on my website. And this month it is the wild violet flower tea that I'm making here today. Wild violet flower tea. That's the recipe of the month on macrovale.com. So much information on my website that I have to share with you. Now I have a few updates, and then I want to share with you the information that I have that's so interesting to me about arthritis. So if you've been following my channel or following my Substack blog, you know that I always update people about Protect the Porkies. And so Protect the Porkies is a movement in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where I live, where we want to protect the Porcupine Mountains, which is the largest state park in the state of Michigan. And it's a pristine, beautiful wilderness. And they want to build a mine site right next to the Porcupine Mountains. And this mine site would be devastating to the woods and the forest up there. Here, let me just share my screen here with you. Protect the Porkies. Here it is. I'm going to share this with you. And so you just want to type in the search bar, Protect the Porkies. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube or Facebook, I did include the link to this website. And you can go there and find out more information about this. This proposed mine site would be right next to Lake Superior. You can see right here, this is the beautiful Porcupine State Park right here. And here is where they want to build the mine site. And here is the North Country Trail, which is this beautiful hiking trail that the mine site would be right next to. It would basically ruin this hiking trail. Now look at these beautiful pictures. This is the Porcupine Mountains. I've been there many times. I've camped there. I've visited there. It's just beautiful. The mine site would disrupt outdoor recreational areas, the Porcupine Mountain State Park. This would be the closest mine waste facility to Lake Superior in history. So the possibility of the waste, dumping into Lake Superior and contaminating Lake Superior is a high probability. So Tom put together this website, and he's basically did the move. He's created the movement. He doesn't get any money off of this. He's trying to save this beautiful place in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I'm doing whatever it takes to help the movement. You want to click on where it says Take Action, and you can sign the petition right here. And you can find out more again on this website, Protect the Porkies. So I like to stop screen sharing. I like to tell everybody about that when they attend my cooking classes. Yeah. And another thing that I'm very interested in and passionate about is the 400 British Columbia Canadian ostriches. That there's a movement there too called Save the Ostriches. And again, I've been sharing this on my YouTube channel, on my Substack blog, and anywhere that I possibly can. And let me show you that. Here we go. Save Our Ostriches. And you just type in the search bar, Save Our Ostriches, and you'll find it. Again, the link is in the description here. These beautiful ostriches are on a farm in Canada. And there was, it's a long story, but the CFIA in Canada came out there and tested a dead ostrich with a PCR test, which is basically worthless, and came to the conclusion that the ostrich had bird flu. So they quarantined these beautiful ostriches, and they said that all these ostriches had to be killed. 400 ostriches. And so that's when the movement started. The people that own this farm have had these ostriches ever since they were babies. Some of these ostriches are 20, 30 years old. They've been raising them that long. Now, this is not a farm where they kill the ostriches for ostrich meat. That's not what it's about, okay? But the CFIA of Canada, this has gone through the courts. They've had to go to court to fight this. Their ostriches are completely healthy. This has been going on I think 80 days now, and these beautiful ostriches are still alive and they're healthy. Now, if they were contaminated or sick or something like that, there would be a problem. There isn't. This one right here, March 11th, 2025, this is a really good interview. Go to this website and click watch the interview. This will tell you the story from the beginning to the end. All right. And even if you don't live in Canada, you can do a bunch of stuff. They do need some funds to help pay for all the court cases that they're having to do. But you can also send letters to the Canadian government telling them how terrible you think this is. You can just tell people like I'm doing. Tell everybody that you know about this. They've created a book. You saw the merchandise. There's shirts. There's hats. These beautiful ostriches need to be saved, okay? And I'm just letting everybody know about this. Stop screen sharing. Okay. And so that's Save the Ostriches. And so I like to give people updates about things in the news that are very concerning to me. And so I like to share them with you. All right. So let's go to our wild violet tea. It's been steeping for a good while. So the water, my water is kind of a very light greenish color, actually. So you're just going to get a strainer and you're just going to strain it like so. Yeah, mine is like a light green color. That's so interesting. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that in the video. Oh, you kind of can. See? All right, now let me pour some of this tea here. There is our wild violet tea. Oh, it's so good. Oh, yum. It has a very earthy flavor to it. I want to say, and this maybe sounds weird, it kind of tastes green, but to me, that means it tastes healthy, you know? It has an ever slight flowery taste, but not strong, not something that would turn you off. Oh, yeah, this is so good. My liver and gallbladder are just so excited. They're jumping for joy, saying, oh, this tastes so good. Oh, that is so good. Oh, this tea is just, oh, it's so good. Wild violet tea, wild violet flower tea. Yes. All right. So I wanted to share with you my latest Substack blog. Okay. Let me see here. Nope, wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So I have a Substack blog and I write I've written many blogs about food and nutrition and all kinds of things. Well, I finally have come up with the proof that this prescription drug that people are taking is making their knee pain worse. Okay, so this Substack blog is Arthritis, how your prescription may be making it worse. I finally have proof prescription drugs making knee pain worse. Now, this is a quote from one of the websites. The use of this non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medicine has been shown in scientific studies to accelerate the articular cartilage breakdown in osteoarthritis. The use of this product poses a significant risk in accelerating osteoarthritis joint pain. All right. So let me tell you a story. And I tell this story in my blog. For those of you who don't know, I work with people and I counsel them to overcome health issues, and I use food. Very often I have found that many health conditions that people suffer with are from prescription drugs they are taking because of the side effects. Chemical pills always have side effects, always. And this is the story of someone that I have been working with for a long time. This person started suffering with arthritis. Now, this has been going on for over 15 years. The condition went downhill very fast, though. The person was able to get around and even hike in the woods, 10 years ago. Even 7 years ago, this person was able to get around very well. Fast forward to the last couple of years, and this person's knee pain has gotten progressively worse. Now, someone close to this person said a few years back that they just could not understand why the knee pain of this person was so bad And it got so bad so quickly because this person was not like an avid sport player. It's not like, he did, some hard sports or something. This person did not have a job where they stood on their feet all day. They did not do things that would be associated with someone who would have such, a breakdown of their knee joints in such a quick amount of time. Now, I always remembered that conversation and that observation that this other person had made, because it got me thinking, like, yeah, like, it doesn't make sense. Why is this happening so fast? Now, the person I was working with had a somewhat healthy diet. I had helped this person overcome prostate cancer in the past. Yes, by changing it. They went very, very strict macro, whole food, vegan, and overcame prostate cancer in the past. Although after overcoming that dis-ease, the diet had become widened. Also, this person suffered with high blood pressure, and using food, I was able to bring that down too. But this knee condition was just so frustrating. Now, I had warned this person about nightshade vegetables often. And if you don't know about nightshade vegetables, I write about it in the introduction of just about every one of my cookbooks. And so nightshade vegetables can lead to your arthritis condition getting worse. But unfortunately, this person loved tomatoes, and they still eat tomatoes, and they continue to eat tomatoes. But even eating tomatoes on a regular basis would not contribute to the rapid decline that I was seeing in the joint and the cartilage breakdown that was happening in the knees. Now, I had come to the conclusion that one of the prescription drugs that this person was taking had to be leading to the demise of the joints and the cartilage in this person's knees. I could not prove it, though. I kept doing research and trying to find a connection, and I couldn't find a connection. Well, over a year ago, I came across a YouTube video by a man named Gary Brecka. All right, so if you scroll further down in my Substack blog, this is the video that I came across over a year ago, Gary Brecka. Who is he? He used to work for an insurance company. And in this insurance company, in this interview right here, he explained, and I was really blown away by what he was talking about. He worked for an insurance company, and they saw patterns, and they would be able to predict how long a person would live, so they knew how long they would have to cover them with life insurance because of the patterns of the prescription drugs that they were taking. And he said that there was a prescription drug that if people took it, within 5 years, they would either have to have a knee replacement surgery or a hip replacement surgery, because this drug, drug would contribute to the breakdown of the joints and the cartilage. So I just checked the comments, and Eduardo says, I believe you. I used to cycle, and the start of me using joint supplements began my sensation of pain in my knees. Yes. So this is not a supplement, though, I'm talking about. This is a prescription drug, but it's the same scenario. Yes, absolutely the same scenario that's going on here. So I watched this video, and I thought this video was so awesome. So meaning that the insurance company knows that certain prescription drugs, if you take them, further down the line, you will have these problems, and therefore we can predict how long you're going to live, and we know how long we're going to have to cover you with life insurance. Okay, like what? Okay, so he explains this, but also because he was working for this insurance company, he couldn't warn these people about the possible side effects that was happening. So a year ago, I see this Gary Brecka doing this interview, and I wanted to find out more about this because, again, I'm putting the puzzle pieces together. I'm saying, well, this makes sense. You know, this person I'm working with, everything. I went through the prescription drugs that this person had taken, and I couldn't find the proof. A year ago, I started looking, I couldn't find the proof a year ago. Well, about a week ago, I watched this new interview by Gary Brecka where he went into a little bit more information, and he mentioned that it was from, I have such a hard time pronouncing this word, but it's from corticosteroids, or NSAIDs. These are prescription drugs that are given to people who have arthritis pain. Corticosteroids or NSAID, okay, these are the drugs that are given to people who have arthritis pain. And so after I watched this latest interview about a week ago, I just started to type into the search bar all kinds of things. I took this one particular prescription drug that the person I was working with had been taking for over 10 years, and I found out that it was an NSAID. Okay. The person I was working had been taking this NSAID for at least 10 years, maybe longer. This is what has led to the decline of his knees and made his pain worse. According to what Gary said, and also what is written in the articles I have shared below, most people opt for a knee replacement surgery when their knees become worse from taking these NSAID, okay, which is what Gary said too. If you start taking these drugs, like within 5 years or so, you're going to need a knee replacement or a hip replacement. And I'm sorry, but living in the world we live in right now, I'm sure that all of you know multiple people that, oh, I had to have my knee replacement surgery. Oh, I had to have my hip replacement surgery. Really? Okay. Now, the articles that I have sourced in my Substack blog say that these NSAID drugs should only be taken for a shorter period of time. I'm sorry, but 10 years is not a short period of time. That's a long period of time. So this person I've been working with has seen a drastic decline in his knee joints and his cartilage, and it's because of this drug. I am 100% convinced that it's because of this drug. I've been working with this person. I have tried many different things, herbs, plants, compresses, poultices, patches, all kinds of things. And things that work on other people were not working on this person. And I believe it was because he was still taking this prescription drugs. Now, these are my own personal thoughts. I am so infuriated that these prescription drugs are popped like candy and most people do not even think about them. They are all bad, all of them. Now, there is a plant in nature to help the body heal from any condition. There is a plant in nature that will help you heal from any condition. Plants have little or no side effects. Now, in my Substack blog, I continue and I share quotes and information from these two particular websites, very informative websites here, and I give the links. They're in my Substack blog. I'll just read you a little bit of it. There are countless articles on the internet describing the use of NSAIDs in treating chronic inflammation. This article will focus on one aspect of NSAIDs, how they can make your pain worse. We are going to span many years of research that demonstrates NSAID can cause more pain. Long-term NSAID is detrimental to articular cartilage. Specifically, be informed that NSAID will likely worsen the osteoporosis disease for which it is prescribed. Physicians, allied healthcare professionals, and drug manufacturers should be required to inform the lay public that NSAID use can accelerate osteoarthritis, articulate cartilage degeneration. A strict warning label on these medications should read as follows. The use of this non-steroid anti-inflammatory medication has been shown in scientific studies to accelerate the articular cartilage breakdown in osteoarthritis. The use of this product poses a significant risk in accelerating osteoarthritis joint breakdown. Anyone using this product for the pain of osteoarthritis should be under a doctor's care, and use of this product should be with the very lowest doses and for the shortest duration of time. If NSAID use continues, then most likely the exponential rise in degenerative arthritis and subsequent muscular skeleton surgeries, including hip and knee replacement, as well as spine surgeries, will continue to rise as well. Again, I believe this information has been out there for a long, long time, and they weren't telling their patients this information. And here's the link to that quote up there. This one goes on to talk about, this one's very, very scientific. You see this link right here? Boy, they go into so much science in this one. This one talks about not only does the drugs, the prescription drugs, make the condition worse, it actually stops the body from being able to regenerate itself and fix itself. So in osteoarthritis, joint pain, and joints and things like that, if given the correct condition, if the body had the correct condition, the body always can heal itself. It can bounce back. But if you take these prescription drugs, they stop the body's ability to be able to make this condition better or reverse it. And again, this is very scientific, but here it is. Here's the website. And this one goes into great detail. And these are just quotes from the article. In human studies, NSAIDs have been shown to accelerate the radiographic progression of osteoarthritis of the knee and hip for those using NSAID compared to the patients who did not use them. Joint replacement occurred earlier and more quickly and frequently. Yeah, so I wanted to share this to as many people as possible. So this is my Substack blog where I share the videos. I just wanted to make sure that more people know about this. And of course, if you're watching this live video on my YouTube channel, if you want to leave a comment or if you want to share this video or spread this knowledge, that would be wonderful. Share my Substack blog with these links in it so more people can read these articles, more people can watch these videos. I think it's really important, and I really wanted to share this with everybody. So this is your information here. This is what you want to share with people. I think it's really important. Now, my Substack blog also goes on to talk about my upcoming cooking classes because, this is what I do for a living. I teach cooking classes. Going live on Facebook and YouTube and doing these live videos sure is a lot of fun, but I don't make any money off of it. And I have a house, I'm single, and I need to pay my bills. And so if you find this information at all valuable, there are many ways you could support my business, one of which is you could become a paid subscriber to my Substack blog for a very small monthly fee. I would greatly appreciate it. If you can't afford that, I totally understand. You can become a free subscriber to my Substack blog, and you can share my blog so that more people find out about it. And the best way that you can learn about how to create a healthy life for yourself, to live pain-free, have lots of energy, is to learn about healthy cooking that I've been teaching for 28 years. And attending a cooking class, you get a wealth of information. The upcoming Easter cooking class is Wednesday, April 9th. This is the long class from 6 to 9. So it's a lot of fun. If you attend virtually, it's 3 hours, but we go on breaks. And even if you're virtual or you're in person, we have a lot of great conversations. We get to know each other. It's a lot of fun. And these recipes are amazing. We have the tempeh and cucumber salad in the tofu mustard mayonnaise with, that's got cucumbers and arugula and lettuce. We have the basil rutabaga, cabbage, and asparagus. I love this one right here. This is like spring in a dish right here. I mean, it's so colorful. The basil just awakens your taste buds. And for dessert, we have these beautiful lemon raspberry muffins with wild violet flowers. And I have another cooking class I want to tell you about. Now, this one is virtual only. This is a shorter cooking class. Okay, so, and it has just 2 recipes in it. This is a lentil soup and a fermented tofu cheese grilled sandwich. So the lentil soup, again, it's like spring flavors in a bowl. It's both green and red lentils. And of course, it has asparagus. And there's so many flavors going in here. It's sweet, it's sour, it's got kale in it, it's got fresh basil, it's in corn, naturally sweet corn. It's so wonderful. And I have created a new tofu cheese. It's a fermented tofu cheese. I'm so excited about this new recipe because I love creating cheese alternative recipes. And I've made it into a grilled sandwich. And the two of them go so well together, soup and sandwiches. So this one is Thursday, April 17th from 6 to 7:30. Again, cooking for the springtime. I'm super excited about this. Now in this virtual class, you will get the recipes ahead of time and you'll be able to cook along with me if you want. Okay. Those are my upcoming cooking class. I want to make sure that everybody knew about that. And I have a new cookbook out. Sensational Sublime Sea Vegetables. This is my first e-cookbook. Okay. So when you buy an e-cookbook, you get a PDF download and then you can go and print it if you want, or you can just keep it in a digital download. And anytime you want to make a recipe, you just pull it up and you make the recipe. Sea vegetables are the most nutrient dense food on the planet, and many people don't know how to cook them. So this is my latest cookbook. Tempting your taste buds with sublimely delicious recipes featuring nutrient-dense sea vegetables. This one right here is an Aramay sweet potato sweet vegetable dish. This is yakinabe with tofu, grated daikon, and kombu. And I also have dessert recipes in the sea vegetable cookbook. This is my peanut butter dulse hiking treat. And this is the chocolate nori chocolate chip cookies. So the sea vegetable nori's in there. So yeah, that's on the website too. All right, I'm going to stop screen sharing now. Yeah. So I had a lot of information I wanted to share with you. Now I'm really on the bandwagon about sharing this information about these prescription drugs that are making your arthritis worse. Because this has been a journey I've been on for over 10 years trying to help this particular person. And I've always suspected that it was some prescription drug that this person was taking. And now I have proof. And I just want to shout it from the mountaintops so many people who suffer with arthritis pain can realize this. Do your own research, go to my blog and click on those links and do your own research. And find out what you can find out and then take action, because, living with pain is no fun. Okay. We all want to live a pain-free life. We want to be able to, get around and enjoy ourselves and things like that. So that's what we need to do. So thank you so much for tuning in. I've got my wild violet tea. I hope you get a chance to make this. Go out. It's springtime. If you don't spray your lawn, go see if you can find some wild violets in your lawn. Or you could go out into the woods or the forest looking for some wild violet flowers. And you can make this tea. And it's like you can make this tea for your body. Eduardo says, what cheese type does the tofu taste like? It's that's a good question. It's a light, delicate cheese flavor. It's not a cheddar. A cheddar is sharp. I would say it's not a sharp. It's a more mellow, maybe like a cream cheese, or it's not sharp. It's like a mellow. I wouldn't say it. I would say more like a cream cheese or like a Munster cheese, but not a cheddar. No, that cheddar is too sharp. So it's like a mellow taste. Thank you for asking that question. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, it's a more mellow taste, more like a white cheese. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, but spring is here. So get outside, pick some of those wild violet flowers, enjoy the weather, enjoy all the beautiful colors and the flowers that are coming up. All right, so everybody get in the kitchen and cook healthy.